Hey, what's good, everybody, and welcome to Between Frets, a space where female musicians meet and discuss all things music. Shorny Shorn here, and we have a great show for you today. But first, Corona, you're kicking our asses again. Seriously, I am tired of the restrictions. They now went back a phase and doing restrictions and shorter store hours and restaurants, and they shutting down Philly like with curfews and stuff like that. But I'm in the burbs, I'm in a different county, so ours a little different. And now the whole schools are back to full virtual instructions. At least I had like about a couple weeks of one of my kids going back to school and trying to get back to field and getting the schedules of everything that needs to be done. And now is in the house seeing them 24/7. And parents, you will definitely feel my pain. Most definitely. Now the holidays, it's now December. The holidays is coming too quick and too soon. But speaking of the holidays and those y'all are still shopping for your perfect gift for your fellow female string musician, make sure you got till before the end of the week, maybe no later than Thursday, to order your merch so it can be ready by Christmas. The company that we used for our merch, they need to make sure they gotta get everything processed, fulfilled, and sent out. So make sure no later than Wednesday or Thursday this week to order your stuff so it can be ready and be to your house right before Christmas. Also, my merch, make sure you go to my website as well, for if you want the merch. That's the same deadline for that as well. So make sure if you want to purchase merch with Fret Sisters, go to www.fretsisters.com and you will definitely get it by Christmas. So do it no later than Wednesday so it can be ready by Christmas. So, in other things and other news, trying to stay sane with this whole thing mentally, but I had never been this relaxed and more calm in most of my life. I've been going back crocheting again, thanks to Summer Jordan from the last guest that I got a chance to interview. Got back crocheting again, and I'm making stuff for Christmas gifts now. I'm making the blanket for my stepmom, and I'm making like these ear savers for your mask so it won't be hurting your ears. I've been addicted to that. I don't know how many times I've been buying yarn every week. I'm getting obsessed of buying yarn, and thank God Dollar Tree has some yarn. I don't have to buy a lot of yarn. It's a lot of yarn. If you see my little tote bin of yarn, is completely I'm so obsessed with yarn. And so it's been, I've been doing that I've been so calm and relaxed, and I'm still doing music, don't get me wrong, I still am. I'm doing music. And speaking of music, I am planning on releasing a single. And the only way you know which one it is, make sure you follow my social media. And so you know which new song that I'll probably release. You never know. 12 midnight on New Year's. Surprise! I was thinking around that time, so make sure you catch up with me, follow me on my social media, and I will be all set and ready to release that song. It's one of the best songs I ever produced. It was definitely a challenge, and I had some help with the lyrics. Not the whole thing, but a couple lines on the first verse, and then the rest I went out of town for the rest of the song. So It was a great collab with this person, and actually, she was one of our guests from past episodes. And I probably won't tell you who until I'm getting close to the release date of my single. But yeah, this is amazing. It's getting close to the end of the year. Time has been flowing so fast and quick. And I'm stoked. And I hope that everybody will have a very safe holiday, since case rising up, you can't really go out and travel and visit families from out of states. And usually me with Christmas, I usually go to house on Christmas, presents and stuff and gifts pick up. So usually I go, my stepmom, she had a brunch, and then Jonathan's family, they had their dinner at night, and I probably usually go down to my mom in Chester and my grandma, and that's what I usually do every Christmas. I go traveling different houses, and see family members and everything else like that. But I hope everybody have a very safe holiday and positivity. You got to have a lot of positive mindset with all this stuff that's going around the world. Don't worry about that. Just worry about being around with the people that you love, and it's most definitely your family. And that's what most of my wisdom will say. So, anywho, I'm gonna get out here, and when we come back, I will be talking to the talented guitarist. You might know her or seen her on SNL in the house band, or Stephen Colbert late night show. Very talented. She's very nice to talk to from the interview, and yeah, her name is Maddie Rice. So keep watching, and I hope you enjoy the episode. Bye. And we are back. My guest today, she's a singer, songwriter, guitarist based in the NYC, who sharpened her musical abilities at Berklee College of Music. She was a lead guitarist with Stay Human, which is a house band for The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. And now she plays for the best sketch comedy show, Saturday Night Live. Everyone, please welcome Maddie Rice. Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Yes, on behalf of Fret Sisters, thank you so much, because we had this group text, and one of us sent us a video of you playing on Saturday Night Live. Just like, who is she? We need to get her on the show. And I was like, yay, we finally got her. Yay.
Yeah, I was so happy to hear about this podcast. It's awesome. I'm so glad it exists.
Yay. I'm so happy that I actually get to talk to you. So in my way, I like to check in on every musician, especially what is going on in the world today with this whole pandemic thing. And I just want to know, what have you been up to keep your creativity mind and saying when we was on this whole quarantine, everything was complete stop?
I mean, I had a lot of touring and traveling and festivals scheduled for the summer. Obviously all went away, and that was really disappointing because I love traveling and touring, but I count myself very lucky that I was able to just hole up and try and work on my own music. Although it wasn't the pandemic is not an environment very conducive to creativity, at least I found. So I was working through a lot of blocks, but it was good to just, have to sit with myself and deal with those blocks head on rather than escape them through other work.
Yeah, because we always occupy our feelings and emotions do our work completely, and we never get a chance to get that chance to like just take a pause button and just focusing on yourself, because we've been focused on working with make sure everybody else is okay, and you don't even have time to take care of yourself. So that was a kind of like some bright sides of the whole stop thing. It's just that we need to get a chance to work on ourselves. But I didn't like to stay still. I do too much.
No, it's hard. Yeah.
It's really hard.
Yeah. And you have kids, right?
Yes, I have two.
Yeah. I bet that. I don't envy you, but I do admire you for
thanks.
do that.
It was horrible with me with them going to school and everything.
Oh yeah,
now one of them went back to school today, and then my second child, he's in middle school. He starts going back to school next week. I was like, thank God I have peace. I have my house back.
Yeah, that's a relief.
So that's like, what influenced you to like just pick up the guitar? Like, what made you want to pick up the guitar?
Well, I started playing violin when I was really little, like 4 or 5. But then when I was around middle school, I started listening to like Led Zeppelin, and my dad had this compilation CD from The Clash that I loved. I was also really into like Green Day and Avril Lavigne, that kind of pop punk stuff that was happening at the time, and I think I thought I want to do what these guys do. But I actually wanted to play bass, but my dad thought very incorrectly that bass was too easy. I think in his mind he was like, the less strings it has, the easier it is, or something, which is not true. So he ignored my request for bass lessons and got me a guitar instead. But I ended up being okay with that in the long run.
He just wanted to challenge you.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, more strings, the more complicated it is to get used to it.
Yeah.
So, what was your first gig experience?
My first gig, well, because I played violin when I was so little, like I did recitals, when I was probably 5 or 6, and then I was briefly a fiddle player in this bluegrass band with my cousin, and we did some like gigs as like 11-year-olds at the farmers market or something. So that was my first. Those were my first gig or like performance experiences. They weren't even on guitar, actually.
Big question. Everybody wants to know, like, how did you like get that opportunity to be a part of one of the popular house bands, especially at a late show? Stephen Colbert is like one of the popular late shows. Like, how did you got that opportunity?
Yeah, I don't like. I know that was never something that I was pursuing. I actually, when I got emailed about that gig, I was living in Korea, and I was actually pretty torn. It sounds crazy now, but I was loving living in Korea, and I knew it was an amazing opportunity to play on Colbert that I couldn't pass up. So I left, but it was kind of a wrench of the heart. But I think I got contacted for that gig because just I knew somebody who knew John Baptiste, who was putting together the band at that time. And that's also more or less how I got the SNL gig too. Just knew someone who had my number and sent it over. Yeah.
Man, have to connect with the right people. Like,
yeah, I guess so.
Because you never know, they know someone, and then they know someone.
And I'm so bad at thinking about my career that way. Like I never think about networking, but then in hindsight, I'll realize, oh, I have this gig because I knew this person. So yeah, it is important.
So all of us in First Sisters, we are complete gearheads. Yeah. So we want to know, like, what is your go-to rig? Like, what have you been using most for gear, for gigs and stuff?
Well, I'm not that much of a gearhead. I feel like every once in a while I'll try to get myself more into it, and I just don't. I don't know why. So a lot of what I end up playing a lot is just sort of whatever I come across, and whatever's convenient and easiest, I just stick with it. If it feels right, I'll make it sound good. I don't even have an amp at home because I just live in an apartment. And most gigs I feel like are backlined. But on SNL, I'm playing a Mesa California Tweed that I like a lot. But I really just use it as a clean sound, and then I use pedals for everything else, including overdrive and stuff.
So you use like what is like your best way to get your tones? Like what is the best ones?
I've really gotten, I think just because at home I just play through an interface into my computer. If I have a good clean sound from the amp, or if it's through the computer, then whatever amp software, then I can just stack whatever pedals I'm used to on top of it, and I'm usually pretty happy.
Ooh, that's awesome. So do you have like a practice routine or anything like that? Like when you home and practicing, like because not everybody has a routine.
Yeah.
Like myself, I need to get one, but I just want to know.
No, I mean sometimes just like going with whatever you're feeling that day can be just as productive. When I was younger, I had a really strict routine that probably worked for a while, but I think I got too entrenched in it, and it ended up sort of holding me back. So now, honestly, I don't practice as much as I used to because there's just a lot of other stuff on my plate. But so most of my practicing involves just learning tunes that I need to learn for gigs and practicing those. But I do like to warm up with these piano exercises called Hanon. They were written for piano, but you can easily adapt them to guitar. And there's like 20 of them. I just pick one for the day and do them in all keys, like working through the circle of fifths. And I find that gets my fingers and like my brain warmed up, like across the fretboard, you know.
I might need to write that down because I don't know.
Hanon. I think they're like very ancient kind of.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, there's my pen.
Etudes or something.
Yeah, H.A. Hanon.
Yeah. They're just like little like note patterns that ascend diatonically. Yeah. Ascend or descend. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to learn that because my dexterity is all over the place. Like my pinky always have a mind of its own.
Oh yeah.
And I'll always be doing these little crazy hammer on pull offs every time.
Yeah, the pinky is kind of the rebel of the bunch. It's hard to rein the pinky in.
Yeah, I was like trying to tell my brain like stop it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, do you have like any like planning on doing any solo projects or any upcoming events since it's been opening up a little bit more, and next year hopefully be better?
I have other than SNL, which I'm very lucky to have because it does seem to be one of the only like live music opportunities happening, at least in New York right now. I don't have any gigs lined up, but I am very slowly working on my own. I want to release an EP, but I think because I've spent so much time as a side human, doing what other artists asked me to do on guitar. I never really asked myself what I want to do, so it's taking me a long. Now that I'm working on my own music, it's taking me a long time to figure out what that music's going to sound like and what I want to say.
Yeah, it is very hard. Like you've been playing for other artists and making sure that they are cool with the sound that they think they want. And now when you're trying to work on your own material, and it's like you get like indecisive about why.
Because like if I'm working for someone else, I get the answer from them. Like they say, oh yeah, that's cool, or no, can you do a little more like this? But if it's just me, I'm just like, oh, is this cool? I have no idea. So yeah, it's kind of a struggle.
Yeah, it is a struggle trying to find your own sound, your own tone, especially when you're trying to work on your own material. It's just like you just have to make sure
Yeah.
like what other people will think of it. Do you think it's going to be good or nah?
Exactly.
Don't know what do you think is good and don't know what you want.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
have
it's
like
really it's a whole other ballgame. Yeah.
yeah, it is really hard. It's very hard. Do you have like any advice to any women, young or old, that wants to start in this music industry?
Sometimes I think, well, this is sort of paradoxical, I guess. Like my advice would be not to take advice so seriously, because nobody knows you like you do. You know what you want, you know what you need. And I feel like in my career, I got distracted and wasted a lot of time trying to do what other people were telling me to do or what I thought I was supposed to do. And I really should have just been following my own convictions, my own, it's cheesy, but my own heart about these things. And if you know yourself well and you're able to do that, I think your convictions usually lead you in the right direction.
Now,
Yeah.
that's a
So,
great that's
I
awesome.
mean, with the big asterisk of do take like always ask your close friends for advice and help. There's no need to be an island in that regard.
Yeah, that's awesome because this industry, when they have these standards, these godforsaken standards that want women to be like in order to succeed in this industry, it is very not only taunting, but it was very, they don't understand. Like I know some of them say sets do sell, but that's not really like what most women want. They want to be more themselves. They don't want to be all
Yeah.
prepped up, all exposing themselves. It's
Yeah.
like about what about their music? What about their dignity?
Yeah,
And that
exactly.
and that's was one of the issues on these in the industry, that what they try to make women to become like pinup dolls. That's what I
Exactly.
think of
Yeah,
it.
and I think yeah, I think maybe I'm being naive, but I think that audiences can tell when something's not authentic.
Hmm.
That ends up showing through. So you might as well just be your authentic self, even if people are telling you that that's not what's going to sell.
So, do you have tell our listeners and our viewers now about your social media, where to get connected with you?
Um, sure. I'm terrible at social media. I find it really hard to keep up with. So I'm only on Instagram. My Instagram is Maddie No Rice. Um, I guess I do have a YouTube account, but I haven't posted on it in years. I really need to get my shit together over there, especially as there's no physical gigs right now. Yeah.
Yeah, so there you have it, ladies and gents. I'd like to thank Miss Maddie Rice for joining in with us, and hope to see her on every Saturday night on SNL with the live band. And also follow her on social media. And also follow our social media at Fret Sisters on Instagram and Facebook, and our website, fretsisters.com. And until the next episode, I'm Shorny Shorn, and